Hi, this is Richard Roop, and welcome to the Secrets of Free and Clear Deal Investing. And this is session number 4, and I invite you to check out the previous sessions as well as the future sessions. And what we're doing here is this is a series of webinars where we're covering the frequently asked questions that we get about how the free and clear investing model works. And a lot of times when people have questions and they are unanswered, it holds them back from taking action, whether they've learned the system or they're just getting involved. And on the line I got with me Coach Courtney. How you doing, Courtney?
I'm wonderful today. I'm excited about this call. This is going to be a good one.
All right, so this one, each time we kind of cover a frequently asked questions. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, this is a question we get all the time.
Yes.
Does it work without private money? I don't know. I don't have any, and I don't know anybody who does. And that's usually someone who's just learning the system and just getting involved. Everybody who's using the system knows the answer. It does require private money, but I've got a number of options on how to raise the cash you need on deals. So let's cover the basics, okay? With the free and clear investing model, what we do is we target high equity free and clear sellers, and then we make them offers to buy their house. If they have a lot of equity, we have the ability to pay them top dollar for their property if they're willing to take back a note. Now, all of our deals, as we'll talk about, require some money, and we fund those deals with a private money first. So all the cash needed is with the private money first, and then we fund the balance of the purchase price with a large seller carryback second. As low as right now on our 9-year deals, we're offering them the government rate of 0.88% interest. And, of course, we can also offer no interest, principal-only payments. But if you wanted to say, hey, I'm going to pay you principal and interest, we're going to use the lowest government rate, which is super low right now, under 1%. It's almost 0%. Now, the cost savings that we have on that low interest rate portion of the deal allows us to push up the purchase price to very attractive levels. And we could pay more than market value for the house. In previous sessions, we covered, how we lock in and guarantee our profit, even if we pay more than market value, because that's a common question. And sellers will accept these type of deals because they love our price. They're getting a lot more than they would get if they sold it traditionally, and they're in a position where they can consider waiting for some of their money. So it doesn't work for everybody, but we're looking at, maybe making 10 or 15 offers and getting one of those accepted on the front end, and then maybe closing another 1 or 2 on the back end with the seller follow-up. There's a lot of people, if they don't understand how it works, they'll say no, and we've been creating some really good tools to help present to the seller, explain how it works, and make them feel comfortable. So those are the basics. Now, the cash needs on each of these deals, we need money to give a down payment to the seller, and some sellers will accept no money down because they want the highest price. But if we're going to give them money down, we're going to raise that. We need, on every real estate deal, we need our money that we need to buy it, fix it up, hold it until it's occupied, and any marketing costs for getting it occupied. So we're going to borrow that money, raise that money at closing. We're also going to reimburse any expenses, such as, if any expenses out of pocket before closing. That might be you get a contract, and then you go ahead and set up a closing, and then you order an appraisal, and you pay for that. You order a home inspection, you pay for that. You get that money back at closing. And any money you spend, finding these deals, we use a postcard marketing campaign. So any money you got out of pocket for marketing, you get that back. And then, since this is a buy and hold approach, we like to pull out some extra cash at closing. So all of those needs for cash we want to raise with private money. Now, there are several ways to fund these deals. Number one is private money that you raise through your own efforts. That's what most people do. Next would be private money that I've raised for my joint venture partner deals. So we have money lined up for these free and clear deals, and I fund my joint venture partner deals. Another way to fund these deals would be to bring in some hard money, some temporary financing until you get it replaced. We'll talk about that. Another way to fund the deal is actually have the seller become the private investor on the deal. And that's great when that works out, and I'll show you that. Another way to fund the deal is if you have money sitting around, you can go ahead and fund the deal to get it closed, capture that big profit, and then get your money back out of the deal very quickly. Show you how to do that by creating a note and selling the note to get your money. And then your buyer's down payment. There are some, kind of an advanced strategy is if you reduce all of your cash needs on the deal, you can get by with just the money you get down from a buyer and do it that way. So we'll talk about each of these. How's that sound, Courtney?
This sounds great.
Okay. And this is, you're getting the benefit of me answering this question for, a lot of people over the years. We've done very well at putting together systems and tools that allow you to raise your own private money, but you have to, have enough understanding and motivation to go out there and do it. And Courtney, a lot of people think about private money as going out there and raising money so they can maybe pay all cash for a house, or maybe they want a private money second on a high equity subject to, or something like that. Our private money is normally going to be in a first position at a very low loan to value, and it's a very safe position for private lenders. So people that have used other investing strategies over the year and then had the market move against them, some people actually got in a position where they couldn't keep their agreements on their private lenders. You know that, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, and that's given people a bad taste about, raising private money. But in this case, this is a very well-secured positions for one of your clients, someone you want to help out. So what you want to do is you want to create your private lending opportunity program so you can explain it. We got tools for that, especially the Q&A lending tool. Then you want to flap your lips and let people know, hey, you buy and sell houses and you use private lenders to fund your deals, and you give a very high rate of return on a well-secured position. Once you do that, you want to keep your eyes open. You've kind of turned on your reticular activating system, and now you're looking for potentials for talking about how people are investing or where their money's at, or are they interested in getting higher returns on their money. So you got to create your program, then get the word out, and then you're going to start seeing opportunities. Another motivator that I've seen is have a deal to fund. So some people, they say, I don't have any money to fund a deal, and so they don't make any offers. Well,
right.
Every deal is contingent on financing, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's normal in real estate, right?
Absolutely.
And so all of our deals, we tell the seller, yeah, we're going to bring in a purchase money loan, and it's contingent on closing that. So that's a very common contingency. Now, once you have a contract and you have a contingency like that, you really don't have any risk if you can't fund it. But once you have it under contract, you're going to be highly motivated to go find that money. And I do know that some people, they don't get started in putting together their private lender program until they have, they're about to lose $100,000.
Exactly. It's quite a motivator.
Yes. So that is actually a good strategy. Go get a deal, and that will force you to put your program together. Think about who you can help, because that's what we are doing. We got a lot of people that even though if you say, I don't know anybody with some money, there's a lot of people out there with retirement accounts. They have money sitting in CDs and bank accounts, and it's just not doing anything as far as a good return. And if they go out and get a high rate of return, there's a lot of, people are lured into a lot of risky positions. And I think like the stock market is a big casino these days, and that's not a good place to have your conservative investment money. So I would consider this a very conservative investment, and it's a great opportunity. So you want to let you're not really begging for money. You're not asking people, please fund my deal so I can make some money. You're actually giving them an opportunity. Hey, I'm buying a deal, and I have an opportunity for you to get a high rate of return on any retirement funds or idle cash that you have that you'd like to get a better return on. So it's actually, instead of going out there and begging, it's actually giving people a great opportunity.
Yep.
And then, of course, over the years, we've created a lot of great tools, my real estate investor website, my private money marketing materials, the systems for presenting the opportunity, for managing private investors and taking care of them, and the ways to use their money. So I would suggest that you use my tools and systems. So that's private money you raise. Now, that's normally the best way to go. And, of course, I have JV partners that I'm doing deals with, and some of them already have their own private money, and others don't. And the people that don't, we go ahead and use my money. So let's talk about using my money. But the people that have private money, they might be getting better rates on the money they've raised, because you can offer someone 6, 7, 8%, 9% on their money, and where else can they get those type of returns today without taking unnecessary risks?
Right. So, but it's nice having yours there, because if they're just brand new to the business and they're trying to learn everything, they don't have to try to learn the business model and the private money aspect all at once. So.
Well, exactly. In the joint venture partnership program, we've carefully, Keith, sat down together, right, and we brainstormed what's all the things that we could help, handle for folks so they can overcome the things that are holding them back from taking action.
Right.
And one of those things that we do a lot of things. But one of those things is go ahead and have the money available to fund these deals. And it doesn't really cost the investor anything. So we'll talk about that right now. My money, it doesn't require you to have any money in the deal. There are lenders out there that want you to have money in the deal, right? Right, Courtney?
Yep, there are some, yes.
Okay. And so that they call that skin. There's no skin required. In fact, we know that you're going to pull cash out when you buy it for yourself. These are going to be for first liens only. So when we have a free and clear house, again, the basics are we're going to have a small private money first and a large owner carryback second. If you're going to do deals where you need to bring in a private money second, or if you have deals where you're going to pay all cash for the deal, which we still offer. We offer all cash, which is very low compared to what we can offer with terms. But if they want to take our cash offer, that's great. It's going to be a windfall for us. The only challenge is we need different money to fund the deal.
Right.
Okay? Because if my money is available up to 40% loan to value, which allow you to give a nice down payment to the seller if needed, but it's probably not going to handle a cash offer where you're paying 50, 60 cents on the dollar plus money, to fix up and hold and close and all that. So my money is available for my joint venture partners, and up to 40% loan to value. The term is 3 years with the ability to set it up so it extends automatically. And the loan costs of the loan are paid out of closing. So it's part of your closing costs. So there's no upfront costs. You just, pay everything at closing. And then the interest on the loan, it really doesn't matter because, number one, it's going to be paid by the property's income. Whoever is occupying the property is going to be making your monthly payments. So the interest is paid by the property. And the lower interest rate you can get, for example, from your private investors, the more money you can make on the deal, or the less you can offer the seller. So normally, we go ahead and structure our offers with my private money, and we create some offers. But then if you actually raise some private money before closing and got better rates and saved on some interest, you're actually going to increase your profits. Okay, but if we know we have lower rates, we can structure offers at higher prices. So the more we pay for private money, the lower we offer the price we offer to the seller. So who actually pays for the private money?
The seller.
The seller.
Right.
All right. Next is a hard money lender. Now, a hard money lender you would do that with a plan to do it on a temporary basis, because most hard money lenders have a 1-year term. They might do 6 or 12 months, okay? That's typical, and they might charge between 9 and 15% interest plus points. We don't really care about the rate because we're going to calculate the cost of that and back it out, but we are concerned about the 1-year term. We want a longer period of time to with our underlying first mortgage. And so in this case, we're actually looking to replace it with the private money you raise within the next year. So if you close it with hard money, your plan is to replace that within a year with, start working on your private lender program and replace it with cheaper money. We do set up our deals so that we do have the right to, have the seller subordinate to new financing if we want to replace that. There's ways we can do that. Now, this will allow you to close on a great deal and capture your profit and have a house and collect some money up front and all that, as opposed to losing it because you didn't have the money right now.
Right.
And then have some time to go ahead and replace that. Now, hard money lenders, there's a lot of them out there that will only do like 60% of the, or let's say they'll only do 65% of the purchase price, not the value. And that sometimes that might be okay, except when they require you to actually, have some money down. So say a lender says they'll do 80% of the value, but they're expecting you to put 20% down. That's not the type of lender we're looking for.
Right.
We're looking for an equity lender that is happy with the low loan-to-value or the loan-to-value on the property. They're happy. Professional hard money lenders are happy getting the house back if you defaulted.
Right.
So it shouldn't be based on how much money you have down. It shouldn't be based on your personal income or credit. For example, you might fund a cash deal. Let's say it's a $250,000 house, and you went ahead and paid $250 cash. Okay, that would be a good deal if you could fund it. But if they're going to loan you 80% of the $150 cash price, that you're going to be short on cash.
Right.
Okay, so you're looking for someone who doesn't care about that. Let's see, and then you must allow no cash in the deal. That's right. Okay, so that's hard money. That's another option. We don't do that very often because we have other options. Now, before we get to the next option, which is actually to have the seller become the private investor, let's go back to the deal example that we used in session number 2 and 3. Okay, we used an example, and we did some demonstrations. And this example is a single-family house. It's free and clear. It's worth $250,000 fixed up, and it needs $10,000 in repairs. So on this deal, we need $10,000. We put the numbers in the ultimate profit generator, and it said on a 9-year note with $15,000 down to the seller, we can pay them $274. And actually, I think I have a typo on that price later in here because I think I put $271. But we could actually pay $274 with $15,000 down. So we now here we needed $10 for repairs. Now we need $15 down for the seller. Okay, on a 9-year note, we calculated that in the ultimate profit generator, it says that we have enough income to give them $800 a month, and then a balloon in 9 years. And because we need cash, we're going to bring in a private money first for $44,000. So it's $10,000 in repairs, $15,000 to the seller, our buy and hold costs, our reimbursement on marketing, $10,000 extra cash to us. That will come up to the $44,000. And then we're already planning on paying $400 a month on that loan. And our profit, as a reminder, on a deal like this is $71,000 with $10,000 up front, some money over time, and then some money on the back end. Adds up to $71,000. Now the seller, if they were to fund the deal as a private lender, here's how it works. I got the price of, it says $271. We'll just use that, but it's actually $274. We're giving them $15,000 down and a note for $256, the balance, at 0.88% and $800 a month for 9 years. We need private money of $44,000 on a first, where we're going to pay $400 a month. So the way this works, Courtney, is you can offer the seller to be your money partner, okay, and say, I need to bring in 44. I'm going to give you 15. Tell you what, if you bring in 29,000 at closing, and then you can offer them the same interest rate that you planned on paying on that first mortgage when you calculated the offers, or you can actually offer them less.
Right.
Okay. So the same or less interest than you planned to pay. Now I'd go ahead and offer them the same $400 a month that I planned to pay, but instead of maybe interest-only payments, that's going to be now amortized because if it's at a lower rate. And now the seller walks away. They come to the table with $29,000, and they walk away with a first mortgage of $44,000. That's the $29,000 they brought to the table, plus the $15,000 down they were going to get, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they get, instead of $15,000 cash from another loan, they get the loan for $44,000, and they're getting $400 a month on that at a nice rate. And then, of course, then they have the larger second at the lower rate and $800 a month. So now instead of getting $800 a month, they're getting $1,200 a month, and they're in first position.
Right. So they're totally safe.
Well, have you ever had a seller insist on being in first position?
Yeah, sure.
And the problem is, our money partner has to be in first position, right?
Right. Yep.
Well, I've closed several deals where they insisted on being in first position, and I gave them this opportunity. And they funded the deal, just like this. So that's one way to overcome that objection. Okay,
right.
You be my money partner.
Yep.
I'm giving you all the tricks here. These are the secrets.
We should be charging for this webinar series.
All right. Now, another strategy, another option that you have, and I like giving you guys lots of different options. Obviously, the easiest thing to do is go out, have people waiting in line for you to fund deals. That's the ideal situation. Otherwise, partner with me and let me fund your deals until you get rolling, until you line up your other money partners and want to do it on your own. And then we'll help you every step of the way. We'll help you structure the offers. We'll help you present the offers. Every step of the way we can support you on getting that deal closed, as well as funding. Now, if you used your own cash, and I've had people do this, they have money sitting around not doing anything, or they have it available. So you could create a $44,000 first mortgage with the terms that you would normally offer a private investor. So let's say you offer 8% to a private investor on a first mortgage.
Okay.
You would create have the closing agent create a first mortgage to you. So maybe your company is buying the house, all right, and then you personally would get this note in your name for $44,000, and you would only have to fund the cash needed at closing. So any money down to the seller and the closing costs, that's the only cash you really need at closing. So you'd have to come out of pocket for that. Then you would have to come out of pocket for fix-up money and holding costs until you get it occupied. But what you're going to do is you're going to immediately, I'm assuming you couldn't raise the 44 from a private investor before closing. So in this case, you're going to go ahead and put up some money, create the loan position, the note position, and then sell that note at face value to someone who wants the 8% return. Okay? So I would set up that note normally at 8% interest-only payments, a 5-year term. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right? And then you go, after you close on the deal, that's your note. Now what you want to do is you want to sell that note to get your money back, plus the additional money that you were planning on getting in the first place. So you recapture all the cash that you put out, plus you get your extra cash when you sell the note. And you could sell that note, a week later, a month later, or even 3 months later after closing. You just sell it as quickly as possible. And that's another way to jumpstart your private lender program. You could now you're Now you're looking for someone who wants to buy this note. And you start flapping your lips, and you start looking for it, and you start finding people with money who would love to have that position. Now, remember, that's a $44,000 first mortgage on a $250,000 house. Pretty well secured, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Another way to fund a deal is your buyer's down payment. Now, this is easier when you can reduce your cash needs on the deal. So if you just couldn't fund it, you couldn't bring in the private money, you could eliminate your cash needs and actually maybe wind up giving the seller a first position. Okay. So if the house doesn't need any repairs, or if you know you can sell it as is on sweat equity, then you don't need any money for fix-up. If you only closed once you found a buyer, you eliminate your holding costs. So you don't have any payments while you're getting it occupied or fixing it up. You've eliminated your payments and any other expenses for holding the house, taxes and insurance, utilities, stuff like that, until you get it occupied. So if you say, Mr. Seller, we can do this, but would you let me go ahead and show the property to my prospective occupants, and I'll go ahead and close with you, but only when I get a contract with my buyer. Okay. Now this is kind of an advanced strategy, and I'd rather have you, go ahead and close the deal and fund with some funding that you've had lined up. But this is, if we can eliminate our holding costs, this would be maybe a situation if we didn't have to give any money down to the seller or not much, and we're okay not getting any extra cash out of the deal. The only cash you would need is for your closing costs. Okay. And then what you do is you would only close when you found a buyer, and you'd put your buyer under contract, and you'd get some money down from your buyer. And so you're going to get up front or back from a buyer down. So you're going to not close and have the money from your buyer before you close, or you're going to find a buyer and then get some money back that you've used to fund the deal.
Okay.
Now this is kind of another advanced way. If a seller insisted on being in first position, you might be able to do it in this way. But I think I'd rather you get better at overcoming the objection about being in first position.
Agree.
It's going to come up, and we have a lot of ways to handle that. All right. And if that's not an issue, you could close this deal with that temporary first note, right? And then sell that note, raise that money that way. So that I just don't want anybody to have their money tied up in the deal. So in this case, we're trying to put in a situation, so if we have any money up front, we're going to get it back at closing or right away. We don't want any of your money tied up in your properties when it's not necessary. Okay? And if you do, go ahead and create a note and sell that note and get your money back. All right, so those are the main things. Let's go ahead and go back and review the list. Ways to fund deals. Private money that you raise. There's no reason why you can't raise private money if you have the right strategies and tools and motivation. Private money that I have, get a hold of us and find out more about our joint venture partnership program if you're not already involved. We are recording this for our active partners as well as potential new partners. Hard money for temporary funding. Seller, let them be the private money first. Your cash, but not for long. And the buyer's down payment because you are going to get that money. So those are different ways you can fund the deal. Now let me go back to the presentation here. Let me go all the way to the end here. So what I would suggest is that you review the previous sessions that we've done, because we've covered it. We're starting with some of the most commonly asked questions first, and then we're kind of working through the list, right, Courtney?
Right.
So if you have this question, you might have another question we already covered. And then we're going to cover additional ones in the future, so join us for those. And get support. We are a support organization. We got an incredible team We got incredible success rates. We are here to help you close deals. So to get support, go ahead and call your partner. That would be me if you're in my partnership program, or your coach if you're in our coaching program, or you have a coach, or a program advisor. So Dina is one of our program advisors, and I would suggest you get a hold of her if you have any questions on how to achieve your financial goals using this investment model or any other investment models you're using. I obviously want you to add this to your arsenal if you're doing other things that are working for you. And if you're doing other things that are not working, I would suggest maybe you do something that does. And then Dina is at 1-800-557-3171, and you can reach her at extension 109, or choose from the menu. That's 1-800-557-3171. You can also email her at dina@richardroop.com. And Courtney?
Yes, sir.
That is what I wanted to cover today. As that's kind of a lot, right? And I kind of went through it fast. Was there any questions that came up in your mind that people might have? Or if anybody's on live, they can go ahead and type in some questions. We can handle it. But is there any input that you would like to make on this, or questions?
It's great, actually. I mean, I think this is the other issues we've covered so far are all the questions that we get, but this is the number one thing I think that holds people back, because they all think exactly what you said at the beginning. They don't have any money of their own, and they don't know anyone with money. So I think this was a great way of showing them that the money is there. There's a variety of different ways that you can do it, and there's no sense in losing a deal. Go out and find the deal, and the money will come. And I think this really showed them a lot of different ways. It was a lot, but I mean, it's a lot of great information that was very valuable. So excellent.
All right. Well, real good. Do we have any questions from the gallery?
That makes me think of the peanut gallery. No, actually, just a couple questions on where to find things and stuff, which I have answered. So I will say that Jim is on the call, and Jim said that this helped explain the system a lot better to him. So getting some good feedback from people who weren't quite sure how it works, and as you said early on, when people don't know how it works exactly, then they're not confident in doing the actions required to get them to a deal. So I think it helps us to have this series and answer all those questions. So kudos.
All right. Well, real good. Well, I appreciate you helping me out here, Courtney.
My pleasure.
And then we'll go ahead and, we'll knock out another one next week. If anybody has any suggestions on things that are important to you, that you have questions about as far as the how the free and clear deal investing works, feel free to email me at feedback@richardroop.com. And you can also, again, you can get a hold of Dina, and she's very, very helpful, isn't she?
Yes, she's great, and she understands the investing business, so she can ask a lot of your questions. She does it, so yeah, she can really help guide you and get you in the right direction.
And of course, if you're in my joint venture partnership program, you can always jump on my schedule. It's online. You can book a 15-minute call, a 30-minute call to talk about anything you want, or you can go ahead and book deal structuring. We'll work on your deal structuring together, a marketing plan review. We'll get we'll generate the leads for you, work on your marketing plan or the results of your marketing plan, seller presentations. I'll actually present our offers to the seller and help close the deal. And after we get deals accepted, we usually book some additional seller presentation appointments. These are not necessarily the sellers on the line, but it could be to follow up with sellers. It could be to go get some help, putting together the contract for the deal accepted. Every step of the way, we're here to support you. So I'm available, as well as Coach Mark and Coach Keith for different types of appointments. So let us help you close deal if you're in our partnership program. And if you're not, go ahead and get started with the basic home study system and the ultimate profit generator software. I think you need the basic instructions, and you need the deal structuring software, so you can go ahead and construct offers. Make sure you're doing offers that lock in your profit. I don't see how you really can do it without the software. So we have a kind of a best offer on that. So if you don't have that, get a hold of Dina to find out what the best offer is as far as getting you jump started, where you can kind of work on your own, get more familiar with it, and then if you decide you want to partner with me, let's talk then. If you're not familiar with it, I would suggest maybe you spend the 30 or 60 days getting real familiar with the tools and the systems, having the ability to do it on your own. But if you'd like to work together at some point, just let us know, and we'll see if we'll go ahead and have you get you applied and see if your area is available. All right.
Sounds
well,
great.
Thanks, Cordy.
My pleasure. I'll talk to you again this time next week.
Okay, thank you, and thanks everybody for listening in. All right.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.